This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Welcome to the original theme park podcast, Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, my close personal friends, Mike Collins and E.B.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with my friend E.B. We are ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
Oh, and we sure are this week, Mike. And in fact, for the last week, this week, and the next couple of weeks, we're talking about the Coaster Radio Meetup weekend down in Florida in Orlando. Last week, we talked about Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. This week, we're talking about the Meetup proper, Mike, our Sunday at SeaWorld.
Yes, so many great things happened that day. It was a day full of roller coaster riding.
That will go down in infamy.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
I'll tell
the
you what,
humanity,
man.
the coaster humanity.
It was. Because, there was a little bit of rain to start the day, but we rode those roller coasters in the rain, and you and I got drenched at one point. So much to talk about. Great people heading out to the Coaster Radio Meetup, so we've got that to talk about. But we have breaking news that is going to be talked about in that second part of the show this week. We did an interview at SeaWorld, and so many times you and I push to get like a nugget of information that hasn't been released yet. We got one, man. We got one, and it's part of an interview that we did at SeaWorld. You're going to hear it on the show tonight. You will be one of the first people to hear this news that affects the future of SeaWorld.
I like this, Mike, that you're building this up so much when it probably isn't that big of a deal. But maybe it is a big deal.
I know,
we'll have to see. That's in the second half of the show. We do have all of our review of SeaWorld plus a great interview at SeaWorld. You're going to hear that in the second half of the show. Mike, we do have news at the top of the show. So let's start with our first drop.
EB, we have been doing this show for 21 years, and never in the history of our show has our first drop ever been about a park in the state of Nebraska.
No, I don't. I think it would be great. I think we do have transcriptions of the episodes. It'd be great to do a search of the word Nebraska. I suppose it does come up in conversations about where are there no roller coasters? Nebraska.
Right. According to RCDB, man, 3 roller coasters exist, and they are all kiddie roller coasters.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
And so the big breaking news in our first drop is they announced the tallest roller coaster in Nebraska is going to be built, Mike. And how tall is it?
70 feet, I think. It's one of those Zyklon roller coasters. It's like metal. You sometimes see them at the beach. But for a state that has 3 dragon wagon type roller coasters,
it's a big deal, Mike.
It's coming to Omaha to Funplex Water Park.
Yes.
And they made the announcement just this past week on social media.
Funplex is also the home of the other roller coasters in Nebraska.
Oh, okay. So 2.
All
2 out of the 4.
All of the roller coasters in Nebraska are at Funplex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, it's so shocking and I think so surprising that RCDB does have an actual listing for it, but no stats. Nobody knows anything about it at all.
Here's what Funplex announced. The biggest roller coaster to ever stomp into Nebraska is Mammoth, arriving this summer at Funplex, rising 70 feet in the air and stretching across 2,000 feet of track. Mammoth brings speed, smooth curves, and stomach-dropping dips that'll have the whole crew lining up for another lap, climb aboard the 24-seat Mammoth-themed train, and take on thrills from the first drop to the final turn. And when they did the announcement, Mike, they brought out a actual walk-around Mammoth costume character to announce the ride.
All right.
So it's a big deal in many ways.
Yeah. This ride is from a company called Preston and Barbieri in Italy. And they have 36 total roller coasters that they've built. So this is going to be an elusive credit, who out there has ridden all the Preston and Barbieri roller coasters before,
Right. There you go. There you go. And Mike, it's not only they're bringing the roller coaster, the Mammoth, it's a whole themed area.
Oh, good.
Including Mammoth Landing for photos and souvenirs, and the Tusk.
Oh.
The Tusk.
What is that? What is the Tusk?
Coffee and mini donuts.
Oh, nice.
It's a coffee and mini donut stand.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So this is a big deal. I often thought you and I should do a show one day where we talk about state by state.
Yeah.
What is the biggest roller? And there are states that do not have roller coasters, surprisingly. So remember our big idea was that we would call, I think it's in like South Dakota or North Dakota, one of them does not have roller coasters. And so we wondered if anybody in that state is listening to Coaster Radio. And if not, we should call there and get a listener.
And try to
call
recruit,
a bar.
like literally try to recruit someone to commit to listening to the podcast.
Yeah. So I don't know where we would call. Like, would you call a bar? Would you call a strip club? Like, where could you call to get somebody interesting to actually come on board and be a listener of Coaster Radio, our only listener in that state?
I think you'd have to call the airport and get somebody who had a layover on their way to Florida.
Yeah. I'd be interested, though. Are you a listener of Coaster Radio out there? Are you listening right now and you were in a state with no roller coasters? I'm curious. I would love to hear from that person, wouldn't you?
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
Yes, I would very much like to. Or maybe somewhere in the world. Didn't we have a listener from Antarctica once? I feel like we did.
I feel like we did. I feel like we've had listeners like in very remote areas, and they once lived in an area with roller coasters, and now they don't, so they listen to the show to feel close to it.
The last roller coaster I rode was Leap the Dips, but I've been in Nebraska for nigh on to a century.
Oh, Nebraska, man. It's cold up there, dude.
In Nebraska.
Cold, so I'm excited. Good for the people of Nebraska. You've got yourself a pretty interesting steel roller coaster coming.
Very nice.
Eventually this summer, we're going to see the POVs of it. You know, they'll have it all, man.
That's right. Ready to go. Next Coaster Radio Meetup at the Funplex in Nebraska.
Yeah. So, I know. Wouldn't that be great if like the people there were really friendly and they're like, we want to fly you guys out. Be for the grand opening of the Mammoth.
I'd be scared. They'd probably send like a crop duster and we'd land in the desert.
Oh, I know. Does
Nebraska have deserts? I don't even know.
I think they have cornfields. I think so, right? Nebraska corn.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I'm thinking of the Dakotas as more sand. Okay.
There you go. Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Still not desert, but worse.
Yeah. The high plains.
I mean, I'm from the Midwest. I feel like I'm on the edge of the Midwest, though. But we're talking some serious Midwest when you get to Nebraska, right? And I feel like in the rankings, I don't want to be cruel to the Midwest, but Nebraska, I'm glad you got a 70-foot roller coaster. Good job.
Yes, very good. Right. Very good.
Let's move on before we get ourselves in trouble with some quick hits.
Quick hits.
Yeah, one roller coaster opening, another one closing, but not really. I mean, the roller coaster is going to be there. It's just the theme changing. Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith has now closed. They have shut the Golden Gates there. The Muppets are about to move in. The only reason we make this a quick hit this week is because, I guess, once again, when a Disney attraction closes, the crazies go out there to hold their vigil. But this time, EB, it was very apparent what the people were doing. There were reports that there were people trying to get into the line last.
Oh.
And there were arguments and disputes over this of people saying, no, you go. No, you go. No, I'm waiting to be the end. And there was like disagreements about this.
Fighting to be the most polite. No, after you. Yeah. No, after you. Oh, ladies first. Oh, just age before beauty, please.
Supposedly it got contentious, man, because for some reason people wanted to be the last person to ride the Aerosmith ride. Explain to me, why do people care about such a thing? Is it just for bragging rights? Is it because they're going to put it on Instagram, on social media for the clout? What is going on?
You can put it on social media and just lie and say you're the last rider. You don't actually have to be the last rider. I would say, Mike, the answer is everybody needs a hobby. And if this is your hobby, trying to be last, that's a fun thing to do. I have no problem with this. If you can go to the park and you can be the last rider and you can try to walk really slowly, hold the line, I'm almost there, and you can be the last person, good for you.
EB, you're changing on me, man. I expected more bile from you. I wanted like some anger and like
these fools.
We're switching because usually I'm the one like, hey, it's cool, man. That's what happened this time.
No problem.
I don't know, man. Like, what's the big deal? And the fact that you have to like argue with people about
I wouldn't argue. I don't want to argue. I want to be clever about it, right? Like, I would dress up as a cast member and be like, all right, last rider. You're the last rider. Get right in line here. And I'd get right in line behind him.
Yes.
Right. So I would be more clever, not fighting. I don't like the fighting. So was there fighting? I mean, were we getting to fisticuffs?
I don't know. I didn't see any fisticuffs, but I heard it was getting like pretty
contentious.
Contentious out there, and a lot of back and forth. But once they shut the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Once they shut those gates, the cast members went in and rode it one time themselves, so they were the last ones. It wasn't like, I'm sure they rode it a couple times. Like, why not? But here's the deal. It's the same ride. The ride's going to be there.
They're just going to swap out a couple of animatronics.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing. Look, a year from now or whenever the thing opens, we're going to be talking about it going, oh, it's the same thing. Like, oh, they've got a couple of day glow things inside the box, and you're going through like the Hollywood sign just like always and stuff. And we'll probably be going, oh, it's a cool scooter animatronic. Congratulations. So.
What if the coolest animatronic on the ride was Scooter?
Yeah, it's probably going to be.
Dr. Teeth was in B mode week 2, but that Scooter animatronic is great.
Yeah, it's great.
All right,
it's
guys.
Great.
Way to go.
They're going to be like, it's the best thing Disney ever built.
The way he
Scooter.
checks his clipboard is so realistic. Oh. That Scooter animatronic.
I know. And I love this stuff and all, but like that type of thing annoys me. Is just the people who
you're just jealous that you didn't get to take the day off work and then try to be the last one in line after you.
You know what?
After you.
I probably am. But that ride is okay. But even as a roller coaster, it's okay. It's not like the greatest ride ever. And I don't know. I've never been like that into Aerosmith. Like they've got a couple good songs. All right, fine.
Now here's a question. Then is it roller coaster fans? Is it Aerosmith fans? Or is it Disney fans? Who were out front or who were there in line? Maybe that's what the fight was about. Somebody was like,
what it was.
I'm a real Disney person and I need to ride this.
Well, I'm an Aerosmith guy and I got to ride this. Like, who's more entitled to get the last ride? The Disney nerd or the Aerosmith nerd?
Yeah. Who's more pathetic? That's what I want.
Who's more pathetic? I love Aerosmith and I'm here at a children's place to rock out.
Yeah. I love Steven Tyler's big lips, man. He's got those lips.
I want to ride the ride. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, don't say that around here.
I remember back in the day, the Aerosmith videos with Alicia Silverstone. Remember those days?
Yes.
It's the good old days, man. Liv Tyler, too.
Yeah.
That was a good video.
All right.
Good stuff.
How about some more hype, Mike? This is everything in the rundown here.
Yeah. As we record the show on Wednesdays. Wednesday morning. Out at Universal Studios Hollywood, a place that you really liked, EB. Mm-hmm. They had the media out, and they were running trains on Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. You got to see the cars themselves. You got to see the trains, and people actually shooting video of the rides, testing the cars going through the track and everything. We're seeing the drift. We're seeing the launches. There's a great video that somebody shot of the actual cars drifting over the bridge that you can walk under them and stuff. Really cool. I'm changing my tune on this. Originally, a year ago, I was like, this is not exciting to me, but now that I see it, I'm liking it.
It looks fun. It still looks fun. Yeah. It's performing the way that I imagined it would when I went and saw the track in person. I think this is going to be a super fun ride, and it's long. It looks like it's long, and people are going to get the thrills that they want out of this thing.
Yeah, and the trains look great.
Yeah, they do.
I really like
they sure
do.
Yeah,
I mean, and I like that it's not like a black train only and then an orange train. Like they have different cars that you can get into, and they're like 4 separate cars.
Yes,
basically, and they're all different colors and different looks and stuff. So it's really cool.
Very
I like
cool.
it. Yeah. Another thing, we were talking a couple weeks ago with Arthur Levine about how there are some new attractions coming this year, and roller coasters in particular, but we did not have point of view videos or even animations showing what the rides would be. Family Kingdom out in Myrtle Beach, right? They actually went ahead and fixed that. They now have a POV of their new RMC Raptor. There's no name for it yet, but they released that, and so we finally get a chance to see what this ride is going to be, and it looks like it's going to pack a punch too, man. It looks like a pretty decent ride.
No, this is going to be great. It's the first single rail roller coaster in the Southeast, so this is going to be one that's going to be accessible to a whole bunch of people that maybe have not gotten to ride a single rail Raptor roller coaster. So if you're anywhere within striking distance of Myrtle Beach, go ride this summer. It'll be a totally new roller coaster experience for you.
Yeah. Yeah. The POV itself, like, prepare yourself, because the park it's a small park, so they're not spending a ton of money on this. It looks like something like an old, like, 1995 AutoCAD, or like, it looks like the Disney coaster. Do you remember that game, Disney's Coaster?
Well, it's like they didn't buy the expansion pack that allowed any sort of background or scenery, because you're riding this roller coaster in a white void.
Yes, that's right. It's like in a big white box. And so you, like, there's no ocean off in the distance or anything, but you do get a good sense of what this ride is going to be. And I am bummed, man. I've not been on one of these Raptors yet, and
this might be the one that you can get to then.
Yeah, right. There's talk of getting down maybe to that area of the country this summer for a little trip, so that'd be fun to go down there and check it out. But looks fun, compact, fast.
Well, and I think, as we go through these 4 episodes of Coaster Radio, where we're talking about, visiting all the parks and experiencing new roller coasters, this is one where the POV does not do the service of actually riding a ride, right? There's a huge difference. And we're going to talk about that again, I think, in the second half of this week's show, about how the POVs don't do the rides justice.
Oh, yeah.
On these single rails, that's absolutely the case.
Yeah. You know what? That became so apparent to me on this Florida trip. Mm-hmm. Really, it did. Because there were so many rides that not only were people saying, like, oh, this ride sucks, this ride isn't worth the hype, but the videos themselves didn't look great.
Yep.
But then you get on it, and you're like, this is 10 times better than what people said and what I saw. So that's good.
Yep.
That's good. How about this next story here? This is one you put into there. A roller coaster on the move.
Yeah, so this is Raging Cajun, the spinning coaster from Six Flags America. This was the roller coaster that I think we said of any in the park that would actually get saved. This would be the one, because it's pretty easy to take apart. It's pretty easy to just lift it up and move it. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. So it'll be interesting to see, is this going into storage, so it'll go up for sale, or will we see a Six Flags park announcing a new world record-breaking roller coaster for 2026 anytime?
The Raging Cajun lives on.
Right. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, because you can see it from this picture. And I don't know how somebody got this photo, because it looks like it's from the air, or maybe it's from a drone or something. But yeah, it's just on a concrete pad, so easy just to lift off. But I've always assumed, like, when you move a roller coaster, whether it be wooden or steel, like, that's not easy.
No.
Because you've got to be very careful taking everything apart if you're going to reassemble it again later.
Well, I think you just have to take a lot of pictures and take a lot of notes, label every part. I mean, we learned that at Knoebels when they did it way back in the day with the Phoenix. They just went down there. They literally used wrote on each board where it went and moved it and put it back. People were debating on Reddit where this roller coaster would go in the Six Flags chain, trying to remember which parks don't have a Wild Mouse roller coaster. And one of the ideas, Kings Island. I'd love to see this in Kings Island.
That could work there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not far to take it. That's not bad.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah. Speaking of Knoebels and Phoenix, like, that always amazed me that they moved it from Denver, right? That's where Phoenix
I thought it was Texas,
I think.
But whatever it was, yeah.
Maybe. But still far away, right?
Yes.
So far away. And like that parts didn't get lost, and they were able to put all that thing back together. That's pretty amazing. You might be right. Actually, let's look that up real quick while we did, because where was Phoenix originally? I thought it was Denver, but I could be totally wrong.
Well, and I'm curious now, as you're looking that up, Mike, this last thing that you put in the rundown, another Harry Potter park? Something else coming to Dubai? I don't need something else to come to Dubai that I'm never going to go to. Yeah. What is this? Harry Potter theme park coming to Abu Dhabi will be the first with both Hogwarts and Diagon Alley. Oh, so they're going to do both right next to each other in one single park in Warner Brothers World, Abu Dhabi.
Yes. The world's largest indoor theme park. It's
Warner Brothers Abu Dhabi. Okay.
Yeah, so very interesting to see all of it. Like you don't have to switch parks like you do here in the States.
We've
seen both of them.
We've had trip reports come from this indoor park, Warner Brothers World of Abu Dhabi. It's an empty park that's sparsely, no crowds, and they've got some Scooby-Doo, they've got some other IP, but it is fully enclosed. This park, they can't fit a whole Universal level Harry Potter land in there.
I can't imagine, but I guess if
it's got to be scaled down.
Yeah, I mean, because we were just at Hogwarts Castle, and that thing was, gigantic. I mean, so you're not going to build it to that scale, but I guess they'll figure out a way to do it. I like that it's indoors so they can completely control the lighting, but who knows? who knows how big of a building they'll build? They could build a giant airplane hangar.
I mean, if we knew how big Warner Brothers Abu Dhabi was, we would know, because they're saying it's going to increase the footprint of the park by 26%.
Whoa, yeah. Yeah, so who knows? And maybe they build something gigantic that would fit it.
The new additions will cost between, this is quite the range, $545 million and $816 million.
Jeez.
And they're also building a Superman roller coaster, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting stuff. Yeah. So fans of Harry Potter are going to dig that you can just have it all in one place.
All in one place. Good. That looks like a really cool park, and I'm just looking at it here. They have 60 rides right now. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Bugs Bunny, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, themed restaurants, live entertainment. This is a big park, all indoors. That's how I would like to go to a park in the desert. Speaking of desert.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You just get in there and you don't have to worry about rain. You don't have to worry about heat. You're all set.
What'd you find out about Phoenix? Where's it from?
Yes, San Antonio, Texas.
It is
so
Texas.
There you go.
Okay.
That is. Yep, that is. So, but still a far way to bring something all the way up to Pennsylvania.
Can you imagine? Like, I remember when I was a kid, my elementary school was getting a new shed, and they sent a note home to parents that they were trying to get rid of the old shed. This is like a 10 by 10 shed you'd put your lawn, your garden equipment in. If anybody wants to come and remove the old shed, they can have it for free. And my dad was like, let's go get it. So me and my dad and my uncle, I was, in elementary school at the time, we took apart that shed and labeled every part.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me tell you, it was not easy to put. I remember, even in elementary school, it was not easy to put together a shed. I can't imagine doing the same with a roller coaster.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just how many pieces were on that truck?
Well, and how many pieces
San Antonio?
Right. And then you had to supplement with some pieces you couldn't relocate properly
right.
or whatever.
Yeah. Or that broke when you were taking it apart. I mean, that must have just been a project, man, but it was well worth it. One of the best roller coasters anywhere.
A project that was also well worth it, Mike. The Coaster Radio Meetup. Do you like that segue? I did that for you.
I love it. Perfect. So
let's do that.
Not only are we going to talk about the meetup, man, but after the break, got some breaking news. I think people are going to dig this, man. Like, it's very rare that you and I push for like some type of nugget of information that no other influencer or YouTuber,
and they gave it to us.
We asked for it, and they gave it to us. So take a listen after the break, and we'll tell you all about it. We'll be right back.
This is Coaster Radio. Welcome back to the original theme park podcast, Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, Mike Collins and EB.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Mike, here with my friend EB, having a good time tonight talking about theme parks and thrill rides and getting ready to talk about day 2 of our epic trip to Central Florida. EB told you on day 1, we went to Universal Orlando. We went to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. That was a tasty appetizer for what was to come next, because on Sunday of that week, it was the big day, Sunday, February 22nd. We went to SeaWorld Orlando for the 2026 Coaster Radio Listener Meetup.
Yeah, that's right. I think I arrived first, and the coaster meet was already gathering outside the gates, Mike, at 8:30 in the morning. The park opened at 9. It was fun hanging out for a little bit. You rolled up. I think we had close to 30 people at the gate, which was great.
Yeah.
We did not ask people necessarily to show up at opening. It was more of a casual thing. We were planning to send out messages on X to let people know where we were, so whenever they come into the park, they could find us, say hi, ride a ride, whatever. We didn't really have a set schedule. We didn't really have any special events to go along with this Coaster Radio meetup, which I think was fun and nice, especially because we were so busy the other days. We were exhausted.
Yeah, and I think, if you've been to other Coaster Radio meetups, it's events happening from morning till late at night. I remember, like, for instance, Silver Dollar City, you got there and we went to Time Traveler and we had the first ride of the day on that. Other times we had ERT and stuff and all that. That was great and that was fun, but it was also, I think, more tiring because it was like, especially for you and me, like, okay, we got to go here, then here, and then here, and here. This was really nice. I liked the leisurely pace. I think everybody else kind of liked it too, because you could hang with the group, get a bunch of rides, but then you could go off and do your own thing for a while and then come back, because we were just posting updates of where we were on X. So people were coming and going throughout the day. But for the most part, there was a good core group that kind of hung out and rode all the rides together.
Yeah, and to all of the people criticizing us for using X, what other gigantic tech company should we have used that isn't evil? Because they all are. So it's just whatever. I'm sorry. I think the only thing that I would add, and we did have a nice interview with the park, which was great, and so that's going to be coming up here in just a couple of minutes. So we had that piece. I think the only piece that I would have liked to have for the meetup, I could do without the game. I could do without the organized meetup to ride the ride. Those are fun. I can even do without us recording a formal podcast in front of the audience, because we still went and we all met for drinks and we all talked about stuff, and we did interview some listeners and things. But I want a tour. I want a tour of a special place, and we did do that. Me and you did. We got to go backstage and look at something cool that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I think offering that to the listeners, they do need something special that they didn't get on this meetup.
Yeah.
So,
but
it was fun
That.
overall. This was a good meetup. And you said it was an appetizer going to Universal, Mike, and I think this was the full course meal because it was also the Seven Seas Food Festival.
Right.
And we had passes. So let's briefly talk about that before we get to the coasters. We had a 15 punch card.
Yes.
And what were there, like 20 different kiosks around the park? And each kiosk had like 2 food selections and like 2 alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
So you could eat and drink your way all the way around the park, and it was full-sized portions. I think that was a lot of fun. We had like a tuna poke bowl and a chicken parmesan, and they had tacos, and I got an espresso martini, and we got Mai Tais, and it was fun. It was great.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments was you and I went over to one of the Asian booths, and they had the Mai Tai
and the Golden Buddhas.
Golden Buddha.
The Golden Buddha.
And I looked over at EB. I was like, which one should we get? And your answer was classic.
Let's get both.
Yeah.
We have enough punches on our punch card.
Yeah.
So, ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
Yeah. So you and I are walking through the park double fisting with a Golden Buddha in one hand and Mai Tai in the other. It was very good. It was great.
Nice.
But I like that. It reminds me, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as the Busch Gardens Food and Wine Festival in Williamsburg, which is an event I go to every year. So it was nice to have that in February. Great time to visit SeaWorld. SeaWorld's really fun when they do these type of events. And it's just such a beautiful park right there on the lagoon. You kind of walk around the lagoon, and there are, rides strategically placed all over, but also cool exhibits. At one point, I mean, we won't get too much into it, but we went through the shark encounter exhibit, and that was fun to actually go through the tube on a moving walkway and sharks swimming all around you. That was really neat.
And you exit next to the seafood restaurant, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
look at all these glorious creatures of nature. Shall we eat one?
Tasty. Yeah.
You mentioned the beauty of the park, Mike. This goes for all of the parks that we visited. Not so beautiful on this trip because there was a deep freeze the week before, which was unfortunate. Yes. But I like that SeaWorld went the extra effort, and there's a beautiful garden that's brown and dead, but they put a sign
Yeah,
says,
they did. Yep.
We apologize for the state of our landscaping. It's froze in Florida and everything is dead. We're so sorry.
I know. You know what was good, though? Our good friend Eric, who was there, works at a theme park in that
in Orlando,
area.
yeah. With and in the landscaping department, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So it was great to have him around because he was sort of pointing out, like, oh, look at that tree there. They're doing this, and look at these plants here. Like, he knew all about them. Yep. So it was interesting.
Why one was brown and why one wasn't, and how they're going to save the one. Yeah.
Right. So that was interesting. So so it was a bummer because I wanted you to see the SeaWorld Orlando that it normally is. You know, like it's normally just like so colorful and bustling and just like beautiful. But yeah, that winter freeze they had, it affected all the parks that we went
sure
to.
Did.
Yeah.
But the SeaWorld and Busch parks are very, very pretty parks. I could tell that it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So another nice thing, besides the punch cards, the people at SeaWorld gave you and I a couple of nice items when we got there as well, including this really cool thing for the food festival where it was like a plastic plate where you could put a drink and kind of walk around and eat. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, shaped like a fish. Yeah, so instead of having to balance the tiny little paper plate and your golden Buddha, you could actually lock it down. There was like a little cup holder in this little plate that you could carry. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. And I'm usually not a fan of the pre-mixed drinks But the Mai Tai and the Golden Buddha were not bad. There were some others that, I could take or leave. But
the Milk Bar Espresso Martini was delightful.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And you could get a milkshake at that one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we got a cute little lanyard and a couple of other cute little souvenirs that were in there, our happy goodie bag. So thank you so much for SeaWorld for hosting the meetup. It was great.
Yeah, so it was nice at the beginning of the day. We met everybody outside. We went through the gate. And this is where I want to apologize a little bit to the listeners who did show up. And this is hard for me. Tell me if it's hard for you, EB, though. Like, here on the show, I'm sort of I don't know the best way to say it, like a pumped up version of myself, because like I'm talking loud. I got a microphone
hiding
in front
behind
of me.
the microphone, behind the
Exactly.
screen. Yes.
Exactly. It's like amped up version of who I am. But in person, I'm kind of shy.
Hey guys, hey, it's great. I'm here to ride a roller coaster with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like it's a little hard. It's a little hard. So I feel bad, like when we meet especially listeners I haven't met before.
I like all of my relationships to be one directional, Mike. It's the interaction that bothers me.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with the parasocial relationship. The social, it's a little bit more difficult. No, it's great. It was great to see everybody. There were some new folks that we got to meet, so shout out to the new folks. And of course, we had our old friends and our regulars that have been around at this point. Mike, can you believe it? We have to say for decades.
Yes, exactly.
Great. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There were people at this meetup who were at the very first Coaster Radio meetup back in 2015, and people who have been listening much longer. So, yeah. So I want to apologize if there were times where I was like shy or something. It was nothing personal.
Why is
with
Mike so
everybody.
weird in person?
Yeah.
Nobody
I
said
my
that,
best.
Mike. Nobody.
I know. I just wanted to say, like, because it's sometimes I found myself like talking, but then I would have like a quiet moment, and sometimes people are looking at me like, hey, aren't you supposed to be talking nonstop? It's like, well,
right.
No, I can't.
I can do it for an hour, but not for 9.
Yeah, that's it. Not for 12 hours. It's a little hard. So let's go through. Let's talk some rides because for you, this was your first visit. All of these new credits for you. I'm excited to just go in order that we wrote them with the Coaster Radio listeners.
Yeah, and we did not. We had a good intention of going to the park, and you mentioned the lagoon. It's a loop that goes around the lagoon.
Yes,
and it was like, well, obviously, let's just walk around the lagoon and we'll ride everything in order, and it will be great. We did not do that. We crisscrossed this park so many times. We talked about the mileage that we put on, Mike. I think this was one of the more mileage days for us. I think this was this the one that we tapped out at like 12 or 11 and a half, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't the most. I think the most was Disney and our Universal Day, or for me, the Universal Day. This was the lowest one. We even did
was
more
it really?
We did more at Epic even too. But so this was still though an 11-mile day.
It was 11 miles.
It was 11 miles. Yeah. But the other days we were doing more. So yeah.
Yeah, we crisscrossed this park way too many times.
Yeah.
But let's go. So let's go around the lagoon and talk about each ride.
Yeah, so we started off, we were kicking around, like, where do we go? And originally it was going to be Pipeline.
Yes.
But word was that ride was not going to open until 11 or later.
Right. And that's right at the front of the park to the right, but we went to the left. Yeah.
Yes, and so that whole bridge and that section of the park was closed. So we pivoted, literally, took a left and went straight for Manta, which is their B&M flying roller coaster. And it's interesting to start the day with maybe what was the most intense roller coaster in the park, probably, right?
I would say so, and certainly not my favorite, right? A flying coaster is hard to be great, so I went into this with low expectations, and my expectations were met, Mike.
Oh, really? So you were not a fan? You were not a big fan of it?
It's fine, and it's. I would say it's a better than average flying coaster, but even a better than average flying coaster is not my favorite ride.
Yeah. I like this one. This might have been my third favorite ride of the day.
Wow.
And I'll rank them as we go, but I liked it. I forgot how much fun it was. And I haven't not been on a flying roller coaster since Magic Mountain back in before COVID and stuff. So I was so happy to be there. I like the splashdown effect that it has. It goes down towards the water at one point and does a fake splash. That's really cool. But I forgot about that 98-foot tall pretzel roll.
Yes,
pretzel loop
that's
that
the
was
first
there.
element. That's huge.
Woo,
yeah.
Woo, yeah. But this is a good roller coaster. It was back in 2009. That's when it was built. I did not realize it had been around so long. But 4 inversions on this thing and a a long ride time, 2 minutes 35 seconds. So I was happy to get on it. I was kind of glad we did it first.
Yep.
Because we did the thing where we rode back to back to back to back all these rides, so it was a good one to kind of start things off with, and had probably one of the longest waits of the day because we were doing this without their quick queue. And a lot of people headed to that ride.
Yeah, because it was right there at the front of the park. I think the most surprising element for both of us was the audio in the station. Of course, there's not a lot of theming. Obviously, we've got fish and things like that around, and this is themed manta ray. And we saw a little bit of artwork and things like that, but there's not a lot of theming. But they put the effort in for this flying coaster by B&M, which you board in a seated position, and then it lifts you backwards, pivoting you up into that flying position. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I've seen this on any other B&M flying coaster, they played audio of or something like that, like it was RoboCop stepping out of the police car.
That is it. I was just about to say it was a very RoboCop sounding thing. Yes, absolutely.
That over-the-top mechanical robot sound. It was great. But now you mentioned Magic Mountain, and that's Tatsu flying coaster. And I think maybe that's what sours me to every other flying coaster is that roller coaster is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And that's up on the mountain, and you get that extra height because it's way up there. That's a fantastic ride. I remember I rode that at night, and it was just so good.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite roller coaster experiences ever.
Yes.
I mean, that actually gets into my top 10 because it was so great. Just that. I mean, maybe it's not a top 10 roller coaster, but that experience was so great.
Yeah.
It was so good. Yeah. So then we forgot to say that it was actually drizzling and going from a drizzle to a pretty steady rain back to a drizzle, off and on. So we decided to then walk over to Penguin Trek.
Yes.
And that's their newest roller coaster. It opened in 2024. And you and I were surprised waiting in the line because we hadn't done like too much research about the rides in there and stuff. But I had no idea that was a B&M family coaster. For some reason, I thought it was like Vekoma or Intamin or something, even just being in there. But yeah, that's a B&M roller coaster with a dark ride show section in the beginning. That's pretty cool. And then some good launches. I liked it.
Well, we're so used to hearing, about the Intamin or Vekoma multi-launch family roller coaster that this is a family roller coaster. You just assume it's a family thrill coaster but no, you're right. It's from B&M. This one was funny. They have that whole themed area outside where there's rock work, but it's painted like it's ice. Because it was raining, it was kind of funny that you had the fake ice, but it was raining. So it was like everything was melting.
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
Right.
And this was the first time I think that we saw the main theming that you encounter at SeaWorld Orlando is explorer junk.
That's a good way to look at it. Yes.
This is the prevailing theme of most of the attractions, where you're going to be encountering like heavy flight cases and shovels and snowshoes and maps. Every tree line is going to be some combination of those things. And Penguin Trek was no different because you are trekking to go and find the elusive penguin. So you load into this thing in this station that's full of winter coats and duffel bags. And it takes you out into this little dark ride sequence. That was kind of cute. And you hear like the cracking of the ice because you're like inside the iceberg. And then you launch out. I think the thing that sold this ride for me was you weren't flying over concrete or, bad grass and dirt and that sort of thing.
Right.
They had laid out really nice white stone underneath it, which really made it clean and nice underneath. I think that's the problem with so many parks and their roller coasters is they just neglect what you're looking at on the ground underneath. Manta suffered from that, right? But this, it was nice. It was a great ride. Mike, you talk about the rain. We were getting pelted on this one. We were getting soaked on this ride because the rain had just picked up. And I think I want to hear about your experience on the ride itself, but then we have to talk about the exit queue.
Oh, yes, yeah. I like the ride itself. It harkened back to when you and I rode Phantom's Revenge.
In the rain,
Kennywood,
yes.
In the rain. And that was violent. And that was a violent
twice the speed
feeling.
on Phantom's Revenge.
Yeah.
This only goes up to like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, so this wasn't so bad. Like, I was still like putting my hands in front of my face so it wasn't stinging, but I liked it. The launches were fun. It had these swoopy moments. A great, like, yes, it's a family roller coaster, but it's thrilling enough for adults too. And especially with that opening section, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And but the real surprise came at the end, especially after getting pretty soaked out there on what was the temperature at that point in the day? It was probably still in like the low 60s outside, but it was about to get a whole lot colder.
That's right. No, and I'll say that a good roller coaster we say this all the time, doesn't have to be the fastest, doesn't have to do the most things. Yeah. It just needs to be fun. And this is a roller coaster that was a lot of fun. But you exit, and you don't exit through the gift shop, Mike. You successfully have trekked the penguins because you exit through the penguin viewing area and the penguin attraction where you actually get to go through the habitat. But of course, penguins, Mike, they like the cold. So the habitat, it is cold. And we learned from the park that they just got a new species of penguin. So it used to be, I think, 40 degrees inside this attraction, and they had to lower it to 38. So it's even soaking wet, walking through 38 degrees, and you have to go through. It's not like you can bypass it. You have to walk through it.
You got to walk through it. Yep. You got to walk through it. And yeah, the penguins are in there. You'll hear about it actually, the exact degree that it was in the interview coming up. But yeah, it was cold, man. It was cold because we were soaked. But that would be nice during the hot summer day. Like if it's 95 degrees out to go in there, that'd be great.
Yes.
So, but cool. I like that ride. I like that experience.
Good roller coaster.
It's a good roller coaster, and I would like to see more of these B&M family roller coasters.
Nice and smooth.
It's pretty great. Yep. Yeah. So after that, we were in the neighborhood of Kraken, which is one of my favorite roller coasters there. Kraken's a B&M Floorless roller coaster. It was there in 2000, so 26 years anniversary coming up here. But your first trip on it, I love a good floorless roller coaster, man. Like a B&M Floorless. If a park's got one, you're going to find me on it. So good.
Yeah, I like the experience of a floorless roller coaster, and this did not disappoint. I think this was great. I mean, again, not the best roller coaster I've ever ridden, but certainly re-rideable and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love the first drop on this. It's got it's 144 feet. There is a fantastic zero-G roll on it that just, if you're in the right seat, it just perfectly takes you out of your seat throughout the whole roll. You're just like kind of weightless going through that roll. It's really great. There are also a lot of good dives underground where they've dug some tunnels that go through it too. So yeah, I like that, and I'd forgotten about those. But it's a good kind of out and back roller coaster right there on the water. I like it. I like it a lot. And at the end, it like really does a lot of just dives into the Kraken lair and stuff. It's a good ride.
Yeah, and we talked about diving into the Kraken lair. It's more of like a concrete trough or a couple of troughs. There could have been something in there, Mike. I don't know why, if not an actual three-dimensional tentacle sculptures.
Yep.
We talked about this as we were exiting the ride. You could just get somebody to paint the concrete.
That's true.
Right? Just paint me a big googly-eyed Kraken down there with a bunch of tentacles and bubbles. Paint it right on the concrete. You could hire a muralist for a couple of days. It wouldn't cost that much money, I feel like. There's a missed opportunity there, and I don't know why. This ride's been open for 10 years. Nobody thought to actually put a Kraken anywhere on this thing.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's been 26.
Oh, this is the older one. I was looking at Mako, which is the next one we're going to talk about. Yeah, this is open in 2000. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about Mako, because these two rides, I feel like, again, a missed opportunity with these two attractions.
Interesting. Yeah, even Mako. So yeah, Mako's newer, like 2016.
2016. It's another B&M. This is another out and back, but you mentioned the little pond. So there's the big lagoon in the middle, but then there's this retaining pond that's on the side of the park, and on one side of it is Kraken, and on the other side of it is Mako, another sizable B&M roller coaster. Why don't these duel?
You said that as we were sitting.
They're sitting there looking at each other. It's like if you had just made both of them wrap around this pond, they would have maybe not duel, but at least have interaction.
Yeah.
And I just hate seeing two B&M roller coasters of similar size right next to each other, both out and back style, right next to each other. It's like, and you don't cross your tracks once.
Oh, it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea.
Poor plan. Who knew? They did not know in the year 2000 that in the year 2016 they were going to build another one.
Right.
Exactly. That's what
exactly. It would have been interesting if they crossed a little bit or did something. It's very rare to have two rides though that are built decades apart, and then having them somehow work together. But we've seen similar things, I guess, at other parks, but
it's just funny that they're so similar in the style also, I think.
Yeah.
They kind of do the same sort of stuff. But Mako, I think, maybe my favorite ride in the park. We'll get to later on, one of the gimmick coasters that maybe is better. But this roller coaster was fantastic. This is the shark theme. You go past all the shark stuff to get up there. This is 200 feet tall, 73 miles an hour. So I think this is the biggest, tallest ride in the park.
And in Central Florida.
This is the biggest in Florida. Okay, great.
Yes, or in Central Florida. I think Iron Gwazi still beats it.
Sure.
But in Orlando, yes, tallest and fastest in Orlando, which is a good record with all the parks that are there. That's pretty great. We got to ride in the front. We walked up, and the station was empty, so we hopped right in the front row. Yeah. It was great and had a great ride. Thankfully, the rain had stopped because that would have been a painful ride in the rain. But this is why you hear me talk about Apollo's Chariot, because I love this style of ride.
Yes.
I love the minimal restraint. It just comes down on your lap, so you really do get a lot of that airtime. This, to me, feels more intense than Apollo's Chariot. This almost, has more ejector air and stuff, and that great section at the end where it sort of does a helix around the front and then goes back in. It's just a really good ride. I love it.
Now, if you had grown up in Orlando, this would probably be your favorite roller coaster than not Apollo's Chariot.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. And I love this style of ride. It's so fun. And I could tell when you were riding it too, that it was there was never a part of this ride where you have to brace and like hold on and be like, oh my God, I'm going to get thrown around. Like maybe that was a little bit on Manta. You know, you're like, oh, that pretzel roll, you're just bracing for it. But this is just fun and fast and a lot of airtime. So
love it.
Might be, I got to think about it. Might be my favorite ride at SeaWorld Orlando. We'll talk about some of the other ones here in a little bit and see. After that, we kind of gave everybody the opportunity to kind of hang out for a while.
Yeah, we mostly rode those first roller coasters with the crowd. That was so much fun that everybody kind of stuck together.
Yeah, so we did a bunch. But then we could sort of tell people were just wanting to go do their own thing for a bit, maybe check out some of the animal exhibits, see some shows, grab some lunch. So you and I headed to go see what food we could find. But before we got there, we walked by Infinity Falls, which is their whitewater rapids ride that has an elevator that takes you to the top of a drop and drops you down right past a bridge that soaks everybody. I wish it was warmer that day because I would have liked to have ridden this.
I love a whitewater rapids ride, and I would have loved to ride this whitewater rapids ride, but I did not want to get soaking wet, and I did not come. Yes. A lot of times when I go to the park, I'll either have something with me where I can change my socks at least, or if I drive, I'll always have something like that in the car. But not having that and knowing we still had a long day ahead of us, I did not want to get soaked. And there was a long line, and we didn't have cut the line passes, so we were on an agenda to get the coaster credits first.
Yeah, so I'm with you. And the same thing happened when we went to Epic Universe, and we'll talk about this next week. But the fire drill ride, which is the
splash
water splash battle. Yep. I wanted to ride that so badly, but it was just too cold. It was too cold, and we were not dressed in a way that if we got soaked on that, we'd just be drenched all day long. So, yeah, I don't think that.
I complained about my feet. I think the entire 4 days that we were down in Orlando, and that was the other thing, is I did not want to get my feet, my sneakers messed up and my shoes more uncomfortable than they already were. I think that was a big part of it too. My feet are not as young as they used to be, Mike. We talk about, our poor little tummies, spinning around, but my feet are what's killing me in my old age.
I know, man. I know. It's hard. It's hard. But there was so much walking going on. I mean, like we said, like 51 miles over 4 days is a lot. So
pretty great.
So anyway, but I like the look of that ride. I believe Tom from Louisville rode it and said he did get wet on it.
Oh, so
that's a fun ride, a good ride, great for the summer. So I'm glad they have that there. So you and I went around. I think we grabbed like a sandwiches.
Oh, this is when we started getting some food, right? I got that. The chicken parm. We waited in line. What did you get at the next booth? Because I got the tuna, and then
I got a poke bowl.
Oh, you got the tuna.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll talk. We saw something interesting, but we mentioned that in the interview. Should we just wait for the interview to reveal that? Where you and I got some food, but then heard of something happening off in the distance, and we went and checked it out.
Well, we'll get to the interview. We tell the story in the interview, so no need to tell it twice. But as we were sitting enjoying our first punches on our Seven Seas Food Festival punch cards, we heard an announcement to gather around for a live character meet and greet was about to happen. We'll leave it at that.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll go into that a little more after the interview.
So keep going around the lagoon here, Mike.
Yeah. So another ride that you were very nice and tried with me because I wanted to see it, but I'm glad we did, was Expedition Odyssey, which is their flying theater attraction from Mach. We wanted to try this specifically because we kind of wanted to see the ride system. This is a ride similar to Soarin' at Epcot.
A little smaller.
But instead of you just coming into the theater, getting onto it and riding the ride, there are two sides to the ride vehicle, and it loads on one side while the other side is experiencing the ride.
And you're sitting, and then you're back to back. There's a wall between you, but then the entire wall rotates.
Yes. Yeah. It's like it's almost like a turntable type thing, but from the ceiling, and then it spins, and the people who were riding exit while you are experiencing the ride. So they can just continuously load and unload this thing. And have twice the capacity. Yep. And I did not realize this, but there are two levels as well. So you can go up to the second level, and there are people up there too. So a really ingenious idea from Mach, and we got a chance to experience it.
And I think this is where we got an extra mile of walking because we were misdirected by a staff person.
Yes, that's true.
They were like, "Oh, are you trying to get to the attraction? You need to go through the gift shop and go through the exhibit." And so we go through the gift shop and walk through. I don't know what it was, Mike. It was this great big exhibit about exploring the Arctic. Again, lots of crates and snow shovels.
Yes, there you go. Yep,
theming.
Yeah, that's right.
But we just walked and walked and walked and walked and walked, and it was a loop. We exited back out to the gift shop again.
Yeah, right.
We didn't find the attraction at all. We had to go all the way back around, and she was misdirecting us to a different queue line. We figured it out. We did ride what I will say, Mike and I would never disparage a park or a ride. Our listeners were saying this was Temu Soarin', Mike.
They were saying
Temu Soarin'. It was fine.
I liked it. It was much better than I thought because again, people disparage attractions and then you go ride them and you're like, wait, that was pretty good. Actually, it was not.
I've gotten some okay things from Temu. How dare you?
Yeah, sure. So I liked it. I thought it was fun. I mean, it focused on the Arctic, and so you're flying over polar bears and ice caps and stuff. So it was cool. It was a neat ride. I liked it.
Yeah, and before we continue around the rest of the way on the lagoon, we did skip over walking through Sesame Street Land. I had never been to one of these Sesame Street lands in a park before. I was really impressed. Impressed. It had a pretty okay mix of the new and old Sesame Street, and so it was hard to tell when it was updated or if they update just parts of it. But I felt like there was some honoring of the old Sesame Street. You could see some classic things that I think the parents would recognize, but then there was an awful lot of the new HBO Netflix era Sesame Street in there too for the kids. So they did a good job with that. We did see a live performance from Big Bird. They do a story time with Big Bird in the nest and somebody reading a story, and it was kind of fun to watch that officially licensed Big Bird puppet being puppeted. And then I was surprised by the fact that after they finished the story time, because we kind of landed, no pun intended, to watch it halfway through, Big Bird stands up and walks out of the nest.
Right, exactly.
And then walks away waving to the kids. So that was actually really cool to see. So I was impressed by the Sesame Street land.
Yeah, we were interested in watching how the puppeteer would move his mouth.
Yes.
But then move the hand down. Like, obviously, he's using his right hand to move the mouth. Then he moves his hand down to move the hands and back and forth.
Yes.
So
because the puppeteer could simultaneously do the head, the eyes, and the mouth, but both hands or wings of Big Bird at the same time, but there was a string between them. So I think he would alternate between having physical hands in Big Bird's wings to only having one hand in Big Bird's wings and the other hand up in the head. It was just fun to watch it from a technical perspective.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was cool to see that happen live. That's rare to see. So that was cool, and there's so much for the kids to do. I mean, of course, they've got like the Grover roller coaster there and some other things, but it's a big land. It's a big area for some.
It is big, and the parade. We caught a piece of the parade too, which was super cute. I thought.
Yeah. So really great. So that's nice. A nice addition there to SeaWorld Orlando. So then we said at 2:00 we're going to meet up with everybody to ride Icebreaker and Pipeline the surf coaster. That was the plan. And by this time of the day, people were starting to come into the park because there was going to be a concert that evening of 2000s boy bands.
Yeah, I think somebody from NSYNC was there, and O-Town was there, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah. LFO, they were all there. So you saw a lot of people coming into the park with NSYNC shirts, getting ready for the big show. But the lines were getting long, too. So Icebreaker had an hour wait. And also Pipeline was going offline and online based on the wind. It was also a windy day.
Yeah.
So whenever the wind came up, Pipeline would go down. So we were kind of watching it and saying, oh, that's a ride we need to get on. We were hoping that sometime before we had to leave that the wind would die down and we could get on it.
Yeah, and we had heard reports from listeners who would find us, as we were walking through the park. Oh, I just got kicked out of line from Pipeline. They closed it for wind again. So it was up and down all day. And Icebreaker, that was the longest wait of the day. It was about an hour.
Yes.
Mike, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised that a Premier Ride Skyrocket is not our favorite roller coaster.
Yeah, I rode this a couple years ago. And I got to say, I got walked onto it a couple years ago. So I had no wait. And I remember the report I gave on Coaster Radio was that I liked it. I don't know what changed this time. I can tell you it was the trains themselves were just not comfortable for that style of ride. And I wonder if the trains were different, would I feel differently about the ride? But also waiting an hour for a ride that really
changes your perspective fully.
Yeah. I don't know how long that ride exactly is, but it's cool. Like the swing launch is fun. That part is fun. But then once it goes through the rest of the course, you need like a different type of train, I think, that would be a little more comfortable. I don't know if that's something Premier can address one of these days. It was nice to not have the comfort collars.
Yes, that's for sure.
That was great that those were gone. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we just had a bad ride or what was going on, but it was definitely not my favorite ride of the day.
I love a roller coaster that does big maneuvers, right? I love a roller coaster that will twist and turn and go up and down and all that stuff, but you got to do it in a way that feels okay. Right. You can't just jerk me around. Like, I like driving fast, but I don't like, driving fast and bouncing off the walls. So that's exactly what's happening here. And you're right. These trains, the seats, I think I made the joke, like, whose butt did they use to mold this hard plastic seat? Because it's absolutely not my butt. It's so far away from my butt. I don't know who they recruited to make this seat butt. Because it wasn't my butt.
I
don't know what kind of shaped butt that is. It's like, go get Gary. He's got that triangle ass.
It's just a weird train because, like, to get on or off the ride, it's difficult. Like, there's no room. There's hardly room to, like, even if you're walking sideways.
The way the restraints come down on you.
Yeah.
And when they're up, they're hard to get past. And the seats have little walls on them. So you can't even, like, on a roller coaster, like, step across the seats to get to the far seat.
Yeah. So I wonder if Premier can, like, redesign the train somehow, and it would be a great ride because it's got that cool top hat. It's got the swing launch, like I said. It's got really good ejector airtime too. There's a lot I like about the ride. It's just for some reason that it just wasn't comfortable, and that's weird. So I'd love to see the trains get a redesign at some point.
Worst roller coaster in the park?
It would be at the bottom of my list because there are other ones that are way better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst roller coaster I've ever ridden. But it's
by far, it's not the worst roller coaster I've ever ridden. Absolutely.
Yeah, but
and I'm not trying to be down on SeaWorld, but every park has to have a worst and a best.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. There are other ones that I would go back and re-ride. This one I wouldn't re-ride.
No.
So
Yeah.
So anyway, after that, we looked across the way. Pipeline was still closed due to wind, but that is when we had to head across the park to meet with our friend Banks Lee. Banks, of course, has been on the show before. I think years ago, back when he worked for Attractions Magazine. Then he's worked in the industry in Orlando at a bunch of different parks. I think this is the first time you and I got to meet him in person. We've interacted, of course, online and on the podcast, but it was great that he took some time out to talk with us.
That's right, and he found a nice quiet place where we could have a conversation.
So under the shadow of Mako, a roller coaster that I know, EB, you got off of and said, best one in the park.
My favorite so far, that's what I said. And we'd already come around and rode a lot of these roller coasters, but it was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, we have one more, though. We have to do Pipeline in a little bit.
Pipeline, yep.
Yeah, so we'll see if Mako still lives up.
I don't think Pipeline will be our favorite, but it might be the weirdest.
Yes, right?
We'll see.
Yes. And I love a good, weird roller coaster. That sounds so much. That is the one I'm most excited about today of trying, just because when that came out a while ago, I was like, that's one I got to get back to SeaWorld.
Well, and we were talking about what was the last stand-up roller coaster that you rode, and we were trying to decide what it would be. I was thinking it was Georgia Scorcher, but then you were remembering Magic Mountain.
Yep.
And Riddler.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah. And also, speaking of it being a while, it's been a while since our next guest has joined us, all the way back in 2014, I bet.
Yes, almost over a decade.
Oh my gosh, 12 years now. That's insane.
Crazy, but so good to see you here.
Yep, absolutely. Our friend Banks.
Yes, Banks, welcome to Coaster Radio. How are you?
I'm good. How are you two? It's so good to see you in person here.
Yes, I know. It's so great. So tell us how you have been, because, everybody, I think you're one of those type of people that a lot of people know and have heard of, especially if they're into theme parks and roller coasters and stuff. So tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, so since 2014, I spent a decade working for Attractions Magazine, so covering a lot of the news out of Central Florida here. From there, I went and moved to the marketing side of things and started working for Legoland Florida Resort on their marketing team, doing PR and social work. And then for 5 years, I was there. And then May of last year, 2025, will be when I joined the SeaWorld Orlando team on their marketing team, doing PR, social, and all this sort of fun stuff. So it's been a big journey, but it's been a lot of fun. I've gotten to do a lot of really cool things that, you pinch yourself sometimes when you look back.
That's awesome. And I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't just saying, sometimes I say nice things about a park when we're going there, just because it's like, oh, we're going to see the people. But I really do mean it. I told EB this when we weren't recording. SeaWorld Orlando is one of my favorite parks, not only because of all of the rides and exhibits, but just what a beautiful setting it is, like right here on the lagoon. I mean, am I right? This is a pretty cool park, right?
Absolutely. I think it is one of the prettiest parks here in Orlando, and it's got something for everyone. We got all these world-class roller coasters, tallest, fastest coaster in Orlando with Mako, but then you also have all of the animals that are here that kids who aren't tall enough for the coasters, they get to get up close and see these animals in a way that they've maybe never seen in their lives before and be inspired for conservation, things like that. And of course, we have Sesame Street, a wonderful IP for kids as well. And then all of the festivals and events that we do all year long, there is something for everyone to do when they come to SeaWorld Orlando, no matter what time of the year they come, and it's really great.
Yeah, one of the things that EB and we literally spent 15 minutes today watching two mermaids in a lagoon.
Now, wait a minute. I gotta say, we were. It's the Seven Seas Food Festival right now, so we've been collecting up our food and our booze.
Yep.
And we were sitting with our tuna poke bowls, and we heard the announcement, come over everyone and come to the Mermaid Lagoon and see the mermaids. And so Mike and I said, let's go check out those mermaids. It was two mermen. It was a couple of mer dudes.
Yeah. They waved to us, though. They did wave.
They were very polite and very friendly, and we were friendly back. Yes. That's right. It was the Mermaid Lagoon, but it was mermen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, things like that for people to see, but also things that are going on right now, like the Seven Seas Food Festival. EB and I have been sampling different things throughout the day. What a cool event. There's so much going on with that too.
Exactly. And it's one of our longest running events too. It's going all the way through early May. So there's plenty of time to come out. Over 200 different items from food and drinks that you can try and sample throughout the entire park. And then, of course, at the end of the certain days, we have concerts, over 30 live concerts spanning 6 decades of music. So there's really something for every taste, whether it be food or music, that people can enjoy here and try.
Yeah. We went to the Happy Cat booth
Yeah.
And there were 2 drinks. There was the Mai Tai and the Buddha.
Golden Buddha.
Oh, the Golden Buddha. And so I said to EB, which one should we try? And what was your answer?
Well, fine, have both.
So there we are. We had both. And now we're walking up to our meetup with two fisting. Yeah.
Two golden drinks in our hands. And we're sitting right across from the milk stand, and I can see at the bottom a vanilla milkshake.
Yeah.
That it's so wonderful. And I thought when it was like, oh, you get tastes, right? Because you can buy the lanyard, you can go around and sample so many different things. And I thought, oh, these are tastes. It's going to be these small plates. It's like little meals.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to have this many little meals? Well, you have to stay all day.
Yeah, that's it. It's so good. So, being somebody who loves this type of thing, just like us, what are some of your favorite things here at the parks? Like when you come with your family, or when you come by yourself, or even just on a day off or something. What do you do?
It's the merman.
Yeah.
So exactly. For me, I'm all about the animals. Like I love just kind of like watching our animals, like going underwater with the dolphins. They are so playful and mesmerizing. They're my favorite sea creature. And our presentations are informative but fun at the same time. Some world-class music and soundtracks with them. Our Sea Lion Otter Stadium, it's always a fun time there with the mimes, and that's such a fun comedy-esque show. But for my kids, it's split between the rides and the animals. Like my oldest, she's not the thrill kid, so she likes to take things easy and like ride Expedition Odyssey or go see the belugas. Whereas my youngest, he's 7, he's counting down the days when he comes tall enough to do the bigger stuff. Like we were just at Pipeline checking out his height. He's not there yet, but he wants to ride everything. And so it's split between the kids. And like I said, this park really does have something for both sets of style, for sure.
You know what was a pleasant surprise for us today was Expedition Odyssey. Yeah. That ride system is really cool.
It is, it's that kind of flying theater style, and all the footage in there is 100% real, captured in the Arctic with drones. Oh, yeah. So some rides may have CG elements. Ours is completely real life, real shot by amazing team of videographers that went out to do that, and it's really a fun ride for families. Get out of the heat as well during the summer months.
Yeah, that was nice. And what an interesting thing about the park is especially today with the one roller coaster where
the weather. Are you thinking about Penguin Trek?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit misty this morning, and so we're getting a little bit wet in the morning. But we went and we rode Penguin Trek, and Penguin Trek has that little bit of an indoor section at the beginning, and we were in the queue line. We go through the indoor section, and then it's raining when we actually leave and go outdoors on the roller coaster. So we finish up kind of wet. And that exits through the penguin exhibit, which is like kept below freezing. I don't know if you know the temperature banks, but we were soaking wet walking through. How cold was it?
It is 28 degrees in there.
We felt every one of those 28 degrees.
It used to be a few degrees warmer, but last summer we got emperor penguins from San Diego. And so we're the only ones on the Western Hemisphere to have emperor penguins that people can see in person. So because they are more adapted to colder temperatures, we had to lower the temperature down to 28 degrees to make them comfortable. But it is a very unique exit. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Did you get wet?
On a summer day, I think it would be very appreciated. But on a wet morning, it's less appreciated.
Yeah, I felt like a penguin in there, man. So, one of the things that I love about this park is that it's always growing. There's always new things. Like you never really seem to come here and not find new attractions. There's a gigantic building over that.
I don't see that. I don't know what we're talking about.
You can see it past up when you go up Icebreaker. You can see it.
You see it when you come into the parking lot. Yeah, it's right there. You can't miss it. That is going to be SeaQuest Legends of the Deep. It is going to be our new indoor suspended dark ride is what we're calling it. It's our first time working with Vekoma on a ride, and it's their first time doing this kind of ride system. A modern, think of it like if you're thinking of other parks, like an ET, like you're suspended underneath the track. It's a slow-moving dark ride kind of situation. We unveiled the vehicle at IAAPA last year. It's very big, very roomy. You can fit 4 to 5 people in it, depending on the size of your family. And this is going to be a really, really great exploration of the deep and showcasing a lot of the deep water animals that we don't really have highlighted here at SeaWorld Orlando.
Is there one nugget that you have that hasn't been released yet that you could give to your friends here at Coaster Radio? Is there something the big thing that people will remember from this interview? I love putting you on the spot, man.
What can I say? Well, I would say, without giving too much away, I mentioned who we're working with.
Yeah.
There's a line at the end of Casablanca that's very famous. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Now we're gonna have to talk about that and figure out what that can mean. I like
We're
it.
gonna have to do some research and maybe put some thought into that one.
All right, that's a good nugget.
This is the best. This is Banks. This is good. He knows how to play the game, right?
yeah.
It's like, well, I'm not just going to tell you a secret. I have to lead you with breadcrumbs and give you clues.
Oh, I like that. And now the listeners are gonna get excited, man, trying to like figure that out. All right, this is good. This is good.
I do, however, have an actual surprise I can do for you here today.
Oh.
It's going to involve us walking a little bit, but I heard that you are fans of a certain shark movie that was primarily filmed here at SeaWorld Orlando back in the early 80s. Yes. For those who watched the film, the park looks vastly different than it did in there, but there are still elements you see, like Bayside Stadium, like where we're sitting right now. This angle is in a lot of the shots of that film. Very recognizable. The Stingray touch pool was where they kept the baby shark.
Yep.
In that scene. Of course, Shark's Underwater Grill, which is a restaurant across here, had scenes shot in there as well. And then there's one scene that was shot backstage at our shark encounter here that I've been giving the approval to take you back to go see.
All right.
So why don't we go take a walk?
Yes.
This is it. This is the real life Jaws 3D shooting location that we're going to go see.
Oh, yeah. And I used to do an 80s movie podcast, and we talked about Jaws 3D. And I've been boring EB all day long. I don't know if I'm boring you, but
Pointing out to me like, this is where the water skiers went, and this is where they had the thing. There used to be a hill over here where they shot a scene. Yep.
yeah, I'm excited about the roller coasters here, but I'm almost more excited to see this mystery spot.
Actual artifact left over that still exists from Jaws 3D.
Oh, yes. All right. This is going to be good.
So there we go, EB, our interview with Banks. And as you guys heard, we did what we were taught in journalism school. We pushed for a nugget, some type of information that is not released yet. I think we got it because you heard when he was talking about SeaQuest Legends of the Deep, he mentioned that was a ride built by Vekoma, and it's coming this year. Then the hint he gave was talking about the end of the movie Casablanca. I've got that queued up, EB. Take a listen to this.
It doesn't make any difference about our bet. You still owe me 10,000 francs. And that 10,000 francs should pay our expenses. Our expenses? Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
So there we go. Humphrey Bogart saying that famous line, the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So how do we put all this together, EB? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so I was hoping that you were asking about SeaQuest, the new ride that's going to take guests deep under the ocean. And we don't know a lot about this attraction, so I feel like you were hinting at, tell us what this attraction is going to be about. Banks didn't tell us that. I think he's telling us the next attraction that's coming to SeaWorld Orlando. And replace Louis in that quote with Vekoma, and SeaWorld is saying, Vekoma, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yes. So do you think that it's kind of like a multi-ride deal?
Yeah.
Like that maybe Vekoma said, okay, you're going to go with this prototype system that we're going to put in, and boom, we'll give you a deal on the second roller coaster. So that is like the next thing that is coming?
Or maybe there's some Humphrey Bogart connection that goes back to Roy Schneider and SeaQuest DSV, the TV show from the 90s.
It all
Which
connects.
has nothing
EB,
to do with this ride, but I wish
like
it
that.
did. But no, I think this is exactly right, Mike. As they said, Vekoma said, we'll give you a deep discount on our next family thrill coaster if you buy and install this new prototype ride system. And SeaWorld said, let's do it. And that's the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Mike.
I like it. So let's let the speculation begin.
Well, you've already done some research.
I got a little speculation, which I think, when you take a look at the Vekoma catalog, look at vekoma.com/coasters. And I'm assuming, because SeaWorld has really been putting in a lot of roller coasters in the past couple of years. What if they went crazy and installed Orlando's first and only tilt coaster?
You were looking at the Vekoma ride catalog, and a tilt coaster. Why not?
Right? Because they have to compete with what's going on across the way at Epic Universe and Universal, down the street at Disney, even the fun spots, all the things that are around. They are really building themselves as the thrill capital of Orlando. A tilt coaster would get people coming to that park, I think. For real. People there are not going to Cedar Point. They're not going to that Coda Land. They will come to Orlando and ride a really themed tilt coaster from Vekoma. I think that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to be the first person to throw that out there. That's what I think this could be.
I think that's a fantastic coaster, Donis. And I think SeaWorld's, no pun intended, on the right track with this strategy, because Disney and Universal, I mean, look at Epic Universe. So much of what they're building is theming and indoors.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we've got Stardust Racers. That looks fantastic. But when you build roller coasters, you can see them. You can see the thrill. A tilt coaster especially is built to visually communicate in one glance, this thing is scary and does something crazy. You can't tell what's inside the circus tent at Harry Potter. You can't tell what the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train does. You can't even tell what Tron does by looking at it. A tilt coaster, you can see it from miles away on the highway.
Yes.
What that thing does, and you want to go to that park. This is a great prediction, Mike.
Yeah. Now, it could be something completely different from Vekoma, too. I mean, it could be like, a family launch roller coaster. It could be, but they've already got one of those. They've got a family-style roller coaster there. I think this is what brings people through the gate, and that's what it's all about. I mean, they've got a lot of other styles and stuff that they could build, but I really feel, man, like that could be it. And imagine if that gets built in Orlando, right? That's a big deal. That's a news-making thing. That's going to get all the news crews out there to see the tilt coaster in Orlando. I think it could be big, man. That's when Banks said that. That's a right where my head went to.
I like that. I like that. And I think they could theme it SeaQuest 2032.
Yes,
it'll be the sequel to the SeaQuest that they're building, and there'll be a who's the kid that was on that show? A Jonathan.
Oh, I remember that kid.
It'll be a Jonathan Brandis animatronic. It'll be like, watch out for that first drop. It's a doozy.
I remember that kid. That's true. That's true. So we'd like to hear from you guys about what you think.
SeaWorld is right now shaking their heads like, I told you we shouldn't have called it SeaQuest. People are just going to remember the Roy Scheider Star Trek knockoff.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember it. This is where we'd like to hear from you guys at home, though, about what you think. I mean, because it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. What does that mean? Well, we'd like to hear from you guys, too, because I know all of you guys out there have very interesting ideas about what Vekoma could bring to SeaWorld. And when is that? I mean, would it be 2027? Would it be 2028? I don't know. I guess depending on what it is. And so it's an interesting tidbit of information that we can really get to the bottom of.
And I like that Banks had that like holster in the holster ready to fire.
Yes.
He was ready with it. He was like, I got one for you, boys.
Yeah. So
it's a riddle.
Love to hear from you guys. And not just regular listeners, but, if there are other people who are watching this who are not regular viewers or listeners of Coaster Radio, would love to hear from you, too.
Yeah,
Be
please.
interesting. Yeah, yes. That was great to talk with Banks. It was so nice. And the other thing, too, that he did is, you heard it in the interview, he took us backstage to actually see a prop from Jaws 3D, which was, of course, the film in the Jaws series that was shot. Speaking of Roy Scheider, by the way, shot at SeaWorld Orlando back in 1982, 1983 or whatever.
Yeah, so it was the second year the park was open. Not a lot of attractions at the park, of course. You can still recognize some of the landmarks around the park. You were pointing some things out. Banks was as well. But they do have backstage a sign on the wall that is in a prominent scene, a pivotal scene in Jaws 3D. And he went back and told that story. Mike, I think we did get video of it. We're going to post that up on our social. So find us at Coaster Radio. You can watch that. But that was just such a fun, weird thing. That's another old piece of the park that, goobers like us and Banks really love.
Yeah.
So
if you love film history, man, you're going to love that stuff. So check it out on our socials, but on YouTube as well. You can actually see the whole thing. And are you going to actually put a little clip of the movie itself?
If I can find it, I'll see if I can find the clip of the same scene. And we'll put it right there in the video, so you can really actually see it. Yeah,
I've got it for you. I'll send it your way.
Good. Okay.
So you can see it. Yeah, but because it lines up perfectly with where we were standing. So that was fun. It was so great to see Banks, and thanks to Banks and the entire team over at SeaWorld, because they were really cool with sharing that little tidbit of information that's fun for people like us and fun for fans to start thinking about and talking about. That's really cool.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
So after that, we were getting ready for our happy hour. That's one of the events that we did set up. We thought we'd meet all together at one of the bars. Originally, it was going to be at the Flamecraft Bar, but that was already jam-packed. There were people there who were there for the concert having a pre-game drink. So we decided to move it over to the new bar that's by Infinity Falls.
Yes, it's a big sit-down. It's a big restaurant space, and there's plenty of tables, plenty of seating, and a bar off to the side. Not nearly as nicely themed, but plenty of space, Mike, for everybody.
Yeah.
And we had, I think, a same number of people, maybe about 30 folks show up, and we spread out across a couple tables, and had a nice slow down before we all headed out of the park.
Yeah, and so it was nice. We were all just kind of sitting there hanging out, and in through the door walks coaster royalty, coaster celebrity. I saw people's mouths drop and get excited and stand up.
Is that who I think it is?
Yes. From Coaster Studios, Taylor Bybee walks in the door. Perfect hair, everything ready to go. Big smile on his face, comes and sits down, and everybody's super excited. One guy says to me, he goes, I did not have Taylor Bybee coming to the Coaster Radio Meetup on my 2026 bingo card. Everybody was pumped up. And I got to say, man, people taking pictures with Taylor. No one taking pictures with you and me. They're taking pictures with Taylor Bybee and getting excited and like jumping up and down, shaking his hand. It was true royalty showing up.
It was really
pretty
fun.
great.
No, that was great. It was a nice cameo appearance. I mean, Taylor's just like a regular person. He's a Coaster Radio listener, and he heard about the meetup. The meetup literally in his backyard. He was saying that the gates of SeaWorld are closer than the nearest Publix grocery store. So why not pop over and say hi and meet his favorite podcasters, Mike and EB? And that's exactly what he did. And he hung out with us for the rest of the evening. So we had a great time there. And then I think we were having our drinks and swapping stories and things like that. And then somebody saw something on their phone or something and stood up and shouted, "Pipeline is operating, everyone! We're off!"
Yes,
and the whole crowd
absolutely.
got up and headed out. Again, a cross-park walk all the way across the park, because we were in the back to the front again, putting on those miles to get to Pipeline.
Yeah, and as we were walking that way, you grabbed the microphone because there were a couple of listeners who showed up and actually wanted to be on the podcast.
Why not?
So yeah, you did a little walk and talk interview, and here that is.
All right, Mike. So we are leaving Infinity Falls right now, and we've got a couple of listeners that absolutely wanted to be on the podcast. So tell us who you are and where you're from.
Hey, so I'm Adam. I'm from Melbourne, Florida, and
I'm Sarah. I'm from Melbourne, Florida.
All right, and tell us how has your day been so far? You guys caught up to us late in the day here at the park.
Oh, we've had an absolute blast. We've been just trying to find rides to do while we followed you guys around.
yeah, so far we got on Penguin Trek.
Yeah. It was cute.
Now, did you ride it in the morning? Because we rode it in the morning when it was still raining. We got wet, and then, of course, you exit through the penguins.
No, we got in just a few hours ago, and it was pretty easy breezy.
Manta is still as unique as ever. I love that one.
That was my favorite of the day.
Yeah, it's like one you can't get anywhere else. It's really cool.
Is it a pretzel roll? Is that what it is?
Yes, I think that's what people would say. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that thing just flattens me every time. It's fantastic.
Some force,
Yeah, so much fun. So what else do we need to do today? I guess we're all heading over to Pipeline?
Yeah, I'm super stoked for Pipeline. That's one of my favorites here.
Okay, you guys come to the park a lot? This your home park?
We actually used to be a pass holder here, and Pipeline, we rode it the opening year it was here, and it's always been a blast for me because I get to fly through the air.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Great. Well, Mike and I have never ridden it. This is one of those that we absolutely needed to get on, so we're looking forward to riding with you guys.
Oh, you're going to have a blast. It's so much fun.
I will tell you, it redefines airtime. You haven't felt airtime like this before.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right, so there was a nice interview as we were walking around the lagoon towards Pipeline, the surf coaster, and we eventually made it over there.
Yeah, and two things about that interview that I want to point out. Number one, when they said Manta, I thought we were talking about Mako. That's why I said it was my favorite ride. I should not have said that.
There you go.
Number two,
yes.
He says there, you're going to experience airtime like you never have before. It's going to redefine airtime for you. I didn't quite know what that meant, but let's talk about Pipeline, Mike.
Yeah.
Because this was something else.
Yeah. So this is what was nice. Like, as much as I was goofing around, saying coaster royalty, coaster celebrity, and all that, it was so nice to like hang out with Taylor. I've actually interacted with him at the parks before, but not for as long as we got to.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated what just like kind of a nice regular guy he was. He was just hanging out. He was answering questions from people. It was very interesting as we walked with him how many people recognized him in the park.
Yes.
Did you see that?
You
Like
could
people
see
like just walking by. Like,
people's heads turning and people pointing and like, I think that's him. Yeah. Well, he's much more visible, obviously, and his videos get a lot of hits, and he's on screen a lot with his videos. So that totally makes sense. But now that we have established him as our close personal friend, Mike, I expect to be basking in the shadow of his genius forevermore.
Yes, absolutely. But one nice thing is when we got to Pipeline, it was open, but it had quite a line. But Taylor had some type of quick queue that worked for 6 people. So he was able to walk a bunch of us down. Other people had quick queues. It turned out like no one was manning the quick queue line.
We didn't need them anyway. Like
we didn't need them anyway.
I felt like yelling out to the people that were in line, guys, get back out. You could come up the quick queue. There's no one guarding it. There's no one watching it. Because there was a long line for Pipeline. But we didn't wait for a long time because we went on the quick queue.
Yeah. So it was fun, like just hanging out in the queue, talking with everybody, because it was a full station house. Because everybody was getting excited. The sun was setting.
Yes, beautiful.
So it was kind of a nice view and stuff. And then it was interesting just to watch the ride from the station, but also watch people get into the restraints and stuff. It was very interesting how it was just different than the old B&M stand-up roller coasters. It had a different vibe and everything to it.
Yeah, you weren't kind of getting on a bicycle seat and then trying to get comfortable and then you get locked in. I think that was the thing that surprised us the most as we were watching folks get on. You do have a bicycle seat-ish contraption, and then you do have, I would say it's almost like putting on a backpack, right? Because this goes over your shoulders nicely and it holds you down, but it never locks. Right, the entire it locks you across your chest, but the vertical doesn't lock you in like it did on the old stand-up roller coasters, where if you were too high, you were getting that bicycle seat rammed up into your crotch. If it was too low, you were getting no support. This, you had a bounce that you could do. So you could push up by straightening your shoulders and standing up straight, and then you could squat down, and the entire mechanism would go up and down with you as your feet remain flat on the floor.
And so it was interesting once we got on the ride. First, the launch is fun, and it's got that little bunny hop, that gives you the first little bit of airtime. What was interesting is that I actually rode with Taylor. He was in the line, so he and I rode together, and he was like, I'm going to tell you when to jump. He goes, at certain parts of this ride, I want you to jump. So I was like, all right, you let me know, man. I'm going to jump when you tell me. So he knew the airtime moments of the ride, and so we would jump, and you would get this amazing floater air like that you never experienced before, especially standing up on a ride. It was really cool. And it was like extended airtime. It was really weird. But it made the ride really interesting and unique and just something that that I've not experienced before. It was really cool. I really liked it a lot.
It was executed so well. I still question the surfing theme because nobody surfs with both feet planted straight ahead. But the ride system itself and the ride experience, you talk about saying jump and then floating. It was like being Princess Peach in Super Mario Brothers 3. You jump and then you float. And it is like and the restraints on your shoulder and the seat that's underneath you are not like resisting you. You're not pushing against them. They're with you because they're all articulating with that same float. And so it really does feel like you kind of are doing this moonwalk, like, whoa, and you are literally 18 inches off the ground, it feels like.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then, boom, back down again.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. This ride did not even need to have turns. It just needed to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really great. And it had
really,
just,
really
nice
fun
twists and turns. And did it have an inversion at one point? I couldn't tell. I was just like so enjoying the ride, but I think there was an inversion. I got to look that up.
Again,
I remember it now. I was like, did we just flip? I think we did.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even need it because of that weird, fun sensation of that floating. Unlike anything. And so credit to our listener who said you're going to experience, you're going to redefine what airtime is. That absolutely is true.
Yeah, I loved it. So I'm trying to figure out of all the rides there, which was my, if I could rank them, where they'd be. And I'm having trouble with that. because I really, really liked Pipeline, but I also really, really liked Mako.
Well, which one would you ride? Which one would you ride again? Right now.
They're so close, but I think I'd go with Mako just because I love the height and speed of Mako.
See, I would ride Pipeline again.
Pipeline was great. If there was no line for Pipeline, I might just go because that's so unique.
How about this? Let's go. Yeah. You got to tear down one of them.
Oh.
You got to tear down Mako, right? You have to. You can't tear down a one-of-a-kind roller coaster.
I guess you're right because there are other rides like Mako. But Pipeline is so cool.
I'm really surprised it built in 2023 and how fun that ride is. Yeah. Why haven't we seen another installation?
I know
of one of these roller coasters.
Yeah, I am really surprised that there's not another one because it's just so fun, and you would think another park would snap one of those up. Yeah, man.
I want to theme it to outer space or something. Call it like Moon Jumper. Really sell it of that jumping, floating, zero gravity experience. I'm just surprised there's not another installation of one of these things, and I wonder why that is.
Well, I got to say, when I left, I only bought one souvenir, and it was a shot glass from Pipeline, the surf coaster.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. So maybe that means that I didn't go run across and get a Mako shot glass. So I don't know, but I maybe it's like 1A and 1B for those two being my favorite rides in the park. They're different enough, but
but
that's
not how rankings work. But that's fine.
I know. Yeah, so
such a fun meetup, Mike. So much fun. Full success. Thanks to everybody for showing up, and thanks for Taylor for showing up. That was so fun to have that cameo appearance. You're welcome at any meetup, and believe me and Mike, we're big enough stars. You do not outshine us at our own meetup. It's fine. we were happy to welcome you. Great, man.
It was fun to have him there because it was cool just to talk with him without it being an event or something like that, and he and I
exclusive
were hanging out
conversation. Mike Collins versus
it was just fun. I was happy to see because I only know him the way most people know him, just seeing him on camera and seeing his things and seeing him at events and stuff. But we were having a nice conversation about my two daughters at one point while we were on the waiting to launch out and stuff. It's just cool, dude, man, just cool. And I don't get. It bums me out when people are so rude online, and I think a lot of it comes from jealousy that the guy gets to go around the world and ride roller coasters, and that's
I'm jealous of his hair.
The guy's just a normal guy. He's a normal guy.
He's just a great guy. Well, and that's just the way it goes when you have you have a parasocial relationship, and then you put out content and you say stuff, and that's the internet. And then people meet you in person, and it's like, oh, he's a regular person. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I should not
real
have been
person
so mean to him online.
Yeah. Speaking of regular people, it was so nice to meet the listeners.
Yeah, all of you regular people.
Yeah, no, it was just so great. I mean, I loved, and we'll talk about this over the next couple of days. I loved hearing people's stories about where they listen to the show.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. A husband and wife were there, and they're like, we listen to the show while we cook dinner on a Monday night. That's what we do, and that's our thing we do every week, and that's fun. It's something I never thought about. We do the show, we edit it, we put it out, and then that's it. But I like that it's part of your lives out there in one way or another. There's somebody who said, you know what I do? I sit down on Friday night with a glass of bourbon and I listen to the show. That's cool. That's a cool tradition. I like that. Yeah. So and I liked just meeting everybody, and everybody's everybody comes from different walks of life. Everybody's different, but we all have this thing that we have in common. And it's fun to hang out with you guys. And, it's great to be in a queue line and everybody's talking about the same stuff, and it's okay. I can't talk about, that the sound that the B&M wing thing makes, but I can talk about it with you guys because you'll all get it and stuff. I can't talk about it when I'm there with other people because they'll look at me funny, but you guys all so it was great. It was really good. Oh my gosh, I forgot there was a trip report that got called in. At the end of the night, man. Hang on, let me play that for you real quick. I completely forgot about that. But it would be horrible if we didn't play this. You talk about Taylor Bybee being a celebrity. What about the number one celebrity who calls SeaWorld his home park?
Hello, my Canadian Bee and Coaster Radio listeners. Is Bob the Lobster from the bottom of my home park, SeaWorld Orlando. Thank you so much for coming to my home park. of SeaWorld. You know, my home park is SeaWorld because I'm a lobster from the bottom of the sea. And you did a meetup here, which was wonderful. I had fun hanging out with all my Coaster Radio friends today. I'm glad they brought me out of my tank so I could ride some rides. And at the end of the day, I hung out with the cool merman and we picked some pearls and we had a grand old time. So anyways, this is Bob the Lobster saying goodbye.
There it is, Bob the Lobster, of course.
Bob's going
of course is
go into the wrong queue and end up on somebody's plate in that seafood restaurant.
I know, right? He's got to watch out if he goes into that seafood restaurant. That'd be bad news. So, oh my gosh, I almost forgot to play that. That would have been terrible if we ended the show without that. So what a fun meetup. It was great. It was a great time. Thank you so much to SeaWorld for their hospitality. Yes. It was great. So much fun. Thanks to Banks for doing the great interview and giving us the nugget that we can talk about. And thanks to everybody who showed up. But that is not all, man, because next week we are going to talk about our Monday trip to Epic Universe.
Long-awaited trip to Epic Universe. This is great.
Yes. So much to talk about that park. We're going to need an hour more to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But then the week after that, you and I went to both Epcot and Magic Kingdom and rode new rides such as Guardians of the Galaxy. We rode Tron. So there's a lot to talk about. We went to the Beacon Barrel. So much content coming up here in the next 2 weeks. But then in week 3, we've got our listener question show coming up. So a lot happening here at Coaster Radio.
I like that coming after the meetup report show because that's going to give you guys the chance to, come back with some questions for us because we're talking about a lot of new stuff. So hopefully you'll have some new questions for the listener question show in 3 weeks. Epic Universe is next week. Epcot and Magic Kingdom is 2 weeks away. And then that listener question show 3 weeks away. Mike, this has been so much fun. And it's all thanks to the support of our listeners and our supporters at patreon.com/Coaster Radio.
Yes. There are perks at different levels. Like you can pledge up to $1 a month, all the way up to $50 or more if you wanted. But even at the $1 level, you get into the Coaster Radio Discord. There are perks at the different levels, like they're the behind-the-scenes shows. EB gets you into the Snail Mail Club, I think at the $10 level, where EB sends you random things. But at the $20 level, bunch of cool perks, including us thanking you right now on the show.
That's right. Let's say thanks to Alex Payne, Brian Wackler, Chris Rankin, Cincinnati Nick the Sweatshirt Guy, our friends at Club Z, the Two Bearded Coaster Chris's, CM Venom, Colton Toms, Dino, Grace, John Brody, John Brown, Josh Combs, Justin Padilla, and Karen and Lee Howard. Also
Kevin Wilson, Kyle Kiefer, our friends at Made to Thrill, Matt Walker, Mike Bear, Nick from Paris, Paulo de los Reyes, Patrick Steinman, Rich Barber, Rick Burnley, Shane Mankiewicz, Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter.
Also, a special thanks to Kyle Lindner of Lindner Design Company, specializing in branding, illustration, and small batch custom apparel. You can find them on Instagram at Lindner_design. They made our new logo. Thanks, guys.
That's right. So, hey, it's March. We're into March already, which means some of the parks start opening this week, in this month for spring break, get into April. So before you know it, man, it's going to be summertime. So lots to get excited about here at Coaster Radio. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Coaster Radio, the original theme park podcast. To learn more about the show and hear hundreds of episodes from the archives, visit our website at coasterradio.com. This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Thanks for listening. Peace out, suckers. Coaster Radio is a production of Lift Hill Media, LLC. Audio and video from this program may not be broadcast, edited, or reproduced without our express written permission. Copyright 2026, all rights reserved. This was all done in one breath.